How are Iranians responding to the killing of Ali Khamenei, what was the Islamic Republic of Iran's Supreme Leader, now former Supreme Leader, who was killed in US and Israeli strikes? There are people inside the country from whom we receive videos where they are celebrating the news of his death. And that is because Khamenei was responsible for decades of atrocity crimes for which he never met justice. There are victims and survivors that I've spoken to who lament and are sort of regret that they will not be able to see him in a courtroom where they would want him to answer for his crimes. I think there were many Iranians that saw the US capture of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela and his transfer to a US courtroom as perhaps a precedent for something that would happen with the Supreme Leader. And they were looking forward to addressing those crimes in court. As the bombing campaign has continued, unfortunately, there are reports of many civilian casualties. The latest number from the Red Cross is 555 civilians just in the past 72 hours at the time that we record this. And there are reports of residential areas being hit. Golistan Palace, which is a UNESCO heritage site, was hit, and there's extensive damage, and that's Iran's cultural heritage. So we see that a lot of Iranians inside the country are scared and fearful and uncertain about where this bombing campaign will go. So I'd say that the feelings are very complicated right now. On the one hand, welcoming the strikes against regime officials who have terrorized the Iranian population, and then on the other hand, real fear and uncertainty about where things go from here. And with President Trump in the US saying that the bombing campaign might go on for 4 weeks, another place he said a few days, there's a real lack of clarity about what the scope of this will be. It should be noted that the strikes that have been carried out on Iran are illegal under international law. Of course, there's a robust debate here in the United States about the lack of congressional approval and authorization. While that's true, we should also note that the international legal system has been unable to meaningfully deliver justice to Iranians inside Iran for the past 47 years. There have been attempts to bring cases for atrocity crimes in international courts, international forums, and most of that has been very limited. So when you have a system that is not able to meaningfully address that for a population, unfortunately, we find ourselves in this position today.